Welcome to Conversations Sin Miedo, a podcast where we break the stigma around mental health in the Hispanic community. I'm Sonia, and this is a safe space for open, honest conversations. Whether you're first generation, navigating cultural challenges, or just looking for a place to feel heard, we're here to talk about it all sin miedo y con corazón. Join me as we share stories, answer your questions, and create a community where vulnerability is celebrated. Let's start the conversation. All right, guys, welcome back to Conversations Sin Miedo. We have episode 11 now and a very special guest, Aldo Gomez. Wow, thank you so much for clearing your schedule. We're like related somehow.
Yeah, I don't know how it works.
I don't know how, but we are. It's okay. We're somehow. So I just call you my cousin.
Same.
Do you want to be my Theo? But that's a little.
I was born a Theo. I can't.
Yeah, sorry.
No.
So yes, Aldo, thanks for joining me on episode 11. So this is Nourish your body and mind. So food, mental health, and self-love.
Mhm.
So Aldo's had the best idea ever to have this episode. So I said, perfect, he could be my guest. So sorry, you have to be my guest today.
Sorry.
Not the sorry. No, you're welcome. Thank you. Yes. So I think this is really weird too, because everyone has a different relationship with food. Like we all have to eat, whatever. But I think in our culture, especially, it's like if I invite you to my house and you don't eat, it's like rude.
Yeah.
You
I was
know?
gonna touch on that too.
Yes, it's like a very we do it like, oh, come over, hang out, we'll have dinner, or we'll go out to eat, or we'll, celebrate a birthday and we'll have food, but it's a very like um it's tied in with like if you don't eat it's disrespectful. It's like a very if you don't eat 2 plates of food, like get as much you want, more, and it's like freaking portions of whatever fried and fun and not exactly the healthiest foods either, but it's yeah, it can be very hard when we, especially I think kind of starting when we grow up, right? Like growing up, I guess I was never taught like nutrition or um I guess healthy food, like what does that even mean? What is um like eat your vegetables?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way I grew up was whatever you serve yourself, you have to finish. And then even then, like, well, we can't let this food go to waste. We don't throw food away in this house.
Yep.
So we'd have to like eat more than what we were wanting as children.
Yeah.
And then I mean, my parents were like always like supervising us because they worked nights for like some time.
Yeah, right,
So it's
right,
like
right.
kind of eat whatever you can, and it's usually like snacks and stuff.
Yeah.
Like there was fruit, but it was like not really appetizing either. Like the most appetizing thing like was I don't know, like just bananas, but like
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
milkshake, which is
Right.
like not the best.
Yeah, it's stuff that you probably didn't even pick. Like when you went grocery shopping, it's mostly like what your parents like or
Yeah.
like what someone,
Mhm.
wanted instead.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too of like what is accessible or what's there, is another big thing. So I think yeah, just starting out even in our childhood, I think that was hard of like um, you know, none of us were like super rich either. So like a lot of us had like, like snacks that probably were like I don't know, super salty or super sugary or like not healthy, or not what's it called? Like just like the best. And even if you get like a big bag of chips, you like finish it, you know, like you finish the whole thing. So yeah, just accessibility, having like stuff you don't like, and like yeah, fruit's okay, and whatever you have at home can be really hard too, of like trying to figure out, like you said, I think it's like a, like, you know, in movies, or like white people are like, we're gonna have dinner at 7, sit down. Yeah, like
definitely not.
I didn't know. I didn't have that either. Of like, I mean, if you did, great. Love that for you. Not for me. How does it feel to have a functional family? But that's another thing too, of like, we didn't really have, like you said, like, you know, here's dinner in the fridge, heat it up, blah blah blah. It was more like, feed yourself.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like, okay, what do we have? And like at that age, you're not exactly turning on the stove or whatever. It's mostly like microwavable, like freaking ramen and stuff, you know?
Yeah, but also like when I would get off school, since my parents did work nights for some time, we have to eat like really fast to eat as a family sometimes.
Oh yeah,
so it's
yeah.
like that's not good for your
No,
body. That is
right.
horrible for your stomach.
Yeah.
And like even now, like I'll catch myself eating like way too fast, give myself a stomach ache. It's horrible.
No, for sure. That's even like, I guess in my job now, I have like a working lunch too. So it's more like you have to work through your lunch, and um it's hard too because I have like a school schedule, and like even like yeah, if you have a 30-minute break at work, or if you have a set amount of time, you're just like, you know, eating super fast. And yeah, that's something too that like I kind of stop myself, like, I'm not I'm not in a rush. Yeah, it's not a race. Yeah, I'm okay. Like trying to remind yourself those little things too. And even like when I go, like we were talking about, like I don't like to eat leftovers. Like I like yeah, I remember we talked about this. It's just not the same. Like if you get it there, but then if you heat it up, it just doesn't taste the same. I mean, it's rare that I do, but I hate to throw away food. Like if we go to a restaurant, Jonathan's like, you don't have to take it. Like it's okay. And I'm like, I don't want to throw it away. Like it actually like kind of stresses me out because I don't, like, you feel bad. Yeah,
Every
like
time.
you have that guilt. You have that guilt of um like, you know, oh, there's kids that don't have food, or like you have those like things that, you know, people and would say to make you feel bad. And then it's, yeah, we're what, in our 20s, and it's still the same. Yeah, it's still something we're working on, but yeah, like you said, it's something that, you know, kind of catch yourself and kind of work on, like having to remind yourself, like, okay, it's okay. Like with that, when I take food home, or when I decide, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to eat it. I'll throw away, you know, whatever. I like try to, um, you know, remind myself, and not eating to the point where I feel, um, super full. Like you said, like your stomach hurts. Like, yeah, that's real too.
There's like certain things that I will eat though. Pozole, you know.
Yeah.
Like when, I mean, my brother's the one that cooks at the house, so he like makes it for like several days.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, it's enjoyable, but still like not ideal sometimes. Cause I'm like, okay, I want to break, and it's not even like I'm too good for that kind of thing. It's just it's not appetizing to eat the same thing over and over and over again. Which is why like I've tried meal prepping. It does not work.
No.
Not for me. I know it works for some people. It doesn't work. Not for me.
No, it is hard trying to figure out like what works for you, and that's hard too, because like living with your brother, it's like that works for him.
Yeah.
And like with Jonathan, he can eat the same thing. Like I hate to eat the same thing twice in the same day. Like if I make something for lunch and then later in the day he'll eat it again, I'm like, that's I don't want to waste a meal on the same meal. So yeah, I mean, you can never go wrong with pozole, but I actually can't eat pork anymore, which sucks. I know.
Why?
God, it sucks. Like I made pozole one day, and I made it with pork, and it's like the I mean, I cooked it, like I put it in the crock pot, like I didn't want to get like sick or whatever, so I made sure it cooked, whatever, 8 hours or whatever. And no, I got like a rash and like bumps on my skin. My stomach hurt for days. It was really bad. I literally went to like urgent care. They're like, well, we can't really. They were like, well, your symptoms, yes, it sounds like an allergy. Don't eat it. And really, like I mean, I try to not like I do eat bacon still, but um like yeah, a lot of our foods and dishes have like pork or like like what's it called, like a lot of meat mostly, and I'm like, damn, I'm allergic to it, sorry.
A high protein diet, it's really bad. Like we'll
Yeah.
have like steaks and then beans, and then there's
Mm. That's like
problems.
Jonathan every day is like, you want some wings? You want wings? I'm like, I love wings, but I just have like a sensitive stomach. I don't know
Me
what's
too.
wrong.
But it's for like everything.
It's
I think
like
it's
in
after
our family.
years. I know. I think it's like years of like not eating right. You know what I mean? Like your
Oh my
stomach just
God,
like
you're
hates
right.
everything.
You're right.
It's like sometimes I'll be eating fruit, stomach ache. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Doesn't make
Like
any
what?
sense.
I can't eat nothing. Even hot Cheetos, they hurt my stomach too. And it's like, I
I'll
don't
drink like a
know.
monster at work sometimes just to get through the day.
Oh
It's
yeah.
horrible.
No.
Horrible.
No, same. I can't drink coffee anymore, and I love, it's coffee. Um, but me and Jonathan would get like Red Bulls, and yeah, even like energy drinks too, because of the caffeine. Like
Oh yeah, it's so bad.
it is bad for your stomach, and just everything too. It could be hard, like something like you're used to from eating when you're younger. It really does like um years later affect you, and it's like, damn, can't eat that,
Nope.
can't have that
I can't
anymore.
have dairy anymore. I used to have like
Oh
cereal all the time
really?
as a kid.
Yeah.
Cheese, like the milkshakes, like almost every night when my dad wasn't
No.
working nights anymore.
Yeah.
Can't have that anymore.
What? No, that's hard. I really think it's like a um like they said, like humans were the only um whatever species that still drink milk, and we're
Oh
not
yeah,
supposed to. Have you seen that?
yeah, yeah.
Like even baby cows, they stop drinking milk, or like animals. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think it's a good
I feel
thing.
like at the beginning, early stages, yeah, it's fine, but after
Mhm.
that, it's definitely not beneficial to the
Yeah,
body. I think that's why
right.
a lot of people reject it.
Yeah, I think too there's like, what is it, like the red cap milk or the blue 2% milk? There's like different kinds of milk too that um like you could have you ever tasted like the difference? Like it's really
Yeah,
mostly watered down.
yeah, it is.
But
Is it?
I don't know.
It's definitely
Should I
like
Google it?
okay.
It tastes watered down to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe I don't know how they make it, but I do like oat milk. Have you ever had oat milk or
Not
almond
but
milk?
I've had almond milk.
Yeah, that one's not bad. But if I go to Starbucks and get a drink and it's you add oat milk, it's like $1 million later. It's so expensive.
Is it?
God, it's like, an extra $2 or $3. I'm like, damn, I could buy a
No
whole
way.
yeah, I could buy okay, I'm exaggerating.
I was like, no
I was
way.
like, wait, how much is it? It's like, well, because I always get a matcha latte. Have you ever had matcha?
No.
I'm a matcha girly. So I
I
get
stick to what I know.
I you gotta try it, but some people it's really green tea, but you have to put what you like in it because it is like the powder green tea. So people are like, oh, it tastes like grass, but it's really
Oh,
not. It's
like
actually
earthy? Okay.
it's
I
earthy,
expected
yes.
that from the color and from what I've seen.
Yeah, it's literally green.
Yeah.
Earthy.
I mean, yeah, but like the texture, like the look of it, like oh yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
it's pretty thick. And so I do oat milk like vanilla. A little secret, I had a friend that worked at Starbucks and she's like, "Oh, the matcha's already like vanilla flavored, so you don't have to." Yeah, so it's not so like it's pretty sweet, you know. So I do that. I do oat milk, and it's like $8. So something in there is expensive, um, but yeah, I try to do like little changes here and there, but
Yeah.
again, it just depends. Like,
Definitely don't buy so many snacks anymore. Like if I buy a snack, it's like a pack of M&Ms. Whereas before I'd buy like a Snickers, like a lot of chocolate. I love chocolate. I do love chocolate. But I would buy like every kind of chocolate and then just sit down and eat it all. But now it's just like I settled for fruit and like really settled. I guess I've moved on from that habit. And I just ate like something sweet, but it's like definitely a lot healthier.
Yeah.
Like on my days off, except for today because I ran out. But I'll be like watching a show or something and just be snacking on like blueberries, blackberries, my favorites. But
yeah,
making like subtle changes like that where it's still similar, still familiar to your brain, I think helps like overcome those things. But I'm not a professional. I wouldn't know.
No, I say that all the time. I'm like, I'm not a doctor, but this is what helps me. Don't like come back and say like, "Oh, she told me this," but I think that's how I am too. I always want something sweet. And I always, like, "Oh, it's time for dessert." Like I want something, and I like I always buy those like fun size chocolates. Like it's like the little, like mini ones. But you also have to remind yourself that like sugar is like an addiction. You could be addicted to sugar, and sugars and everything. And that's something so hard too, to try to kick that like your body craves it, right?
Yeah.
So something as like um simple as, having a little snack here and there. And it's another thing too of when you're snacking, like it's that sensation too, like when you eat chips, like it's like a crunchy chip, or like it's that also like your, what's it called, the chemical in your brain of like dopamine or something. You're like um you're literally feeling that what's it called, like feeling happy, like you're happy like when you're eating or snacking. So it's not a bad thing, but if you think about, like you said, with like how much and how your body reacts to it, it can be hard, especially with your mental health too, of like sometimes eating that food can like make you feel tired, or like, take your energy away too. Um like like it's, I don't know, it, like for me, I don't know for you, but for me, I like if I do have a chocolate, it gets me super thirsty. Like I just get really.
I instinctively just drink a lot of water after chocolate because I feel the feeling of it on my like in my mouth.
Oh yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah,
So
the
I'm like, okay,
texture
I have to
thing.
like wash it down, and then I'm like, it's on my teeth. I have to get it off my teeth. You know what I mean? Like especially if I can't like brush my teeth, like it's a lot of like texture, sensory kind of stuff for me.
Yeah.
So it's like, and drinking it with anything else, I was like, sure, and I feel like it just builds up. You know what I mean? So it's like water, water, water.
Yeah.
And that's new for me, especially like this last year since I've been starting to work out.
I work out every day.
So
Yeah, that's another thing too of like your um you gotta drink water. A lot of people have, especially like huge soda drinkers. People say pop, and I'm like,
well,
you gotta say soda. Do you say soda or do you say pop?
I think they soda.
Or do you say, what's another one? Soda, pop. I think it's a Midwest thing, but
I call it by its name.
yeah, like a
Like,
Sprite,
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
I love a Dr. Pepper.
Oh, Jonathan loves Dr. Pepper. He's like, I want a DP.
No.
I said, excuse me? Who? He's like, oh, I want a Dr. Pepper so bad. I'm like, oh, I don't like dark sodas. I mean, they're they're really good, but they're not like, I don't know. I'm just a Sprite person. Like Sprite is not 7 Up, not whatever. What's it? What
Ceremis?
Starry? Or
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. That's right there.
Ceremis or whatever. No, I'm like a Sprite, cold Sprite, McDonald's Sprite. Oh, those are like
I've never had it. I don't think. Maybe a long
at
time ago.
McDonald's.
Yeah, it's just or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah,
a Coke at McDonald's
yeah.
though. Yeah, no, they're. I mean, all the sodas
Elite,
there.
but
No,
yeah,
yes, top tier, but
not good.
no, it's not. It really isn't. But I get really bad migraines too, and again, this is on TikTok. I'm not a doctor, but there are other girls too that say if you get like fries and a Coke from McDonald's, like the sugar and the salt amount help with your migraines, and it does. Like for
Really?
me, yeah, it maybe it's a placebo.
It's an addiction. You're like wanting
That's
it.
the addiction talking, honey. That's
Yeah.
not helping you. No, I hope it's well. Honestly, it's been on TikTok. It's
I mean,
there was like
honestly.
multiple girls on there that said it worked,
Mm-hmm.
but you could be right. You could be right because
Because like, I mean, I don't know if withdrawals happens for every addiction.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you're right there. You're right because I could see that too, but I don't know. It's again once in a while. It's fine, but also
every day. No,
every day, every hour. I
No.
no, like again, really it's your preference, but with what we're talking about today, I think it's important to just kind of realize like, okay, if I'm feeling like shit or feeling like literally tired or can't get out of bed, um, it's like what's that like saying? You are what you eat, and I mean, I didn't have the best breakfast today either, but it's like you have to kind of recognize that and what is it? Have that reflection too of like, okay, I'll have something, a little bit more I don't like to say healthy, but more um like veggies, less, I don't know, processed foods.
Light.
Yeah, something
You know
more
what I mean?
light. Yeah, yeah. Nothing heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is important to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks. You don't?
I eat breakfast and then I eat dinner.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
do you have snacks throughout the day?
No.
Oh,
I'm usually working.
okay.
Unless it's my day off, then I'll have like
Okay.
1,000 meals a day.
No, yeah, it is
Not
hard
meals,
to.
snacks.
No, it is hard to like finding time throughout. I think it's hard because like if I don't eat breakfast in the morning, then at work I can eat around 12:30 and I'm like hungry. So again, yes, it's up for everyone, your schedule. But like my friend, she like rarely eats and I'm like that's weird to me. It's like I feel because I'm always hungry. I cannot. I mean, maybe a while ago I'd be like, "Damn, I forgot to eat."
Same.
Yeah, like you just forget because yeah, you're busy.
Yeah.
But she's just like, "No, like this doesn't sound good," or "I'm not hungry." Um, and that can be like, I guess just with my background and like with what I studied, it's very hard to of like I've had clients that are like fifth grade, middle school age that are like, oh, I don't want to eat because I don't want to be chubby or I don't want to be, like I don't want to seem fat. Like I have heard that like, and in that age, you're like 11, 12, you're a teenager. Um, and you have this big like um you know, self-esteem and like how you're gonna look in clothes and you just think that this meal literally me like let me do the thing.
No,
Oh,
I think it goes hand in hand with like while you can be aware of it and like you can be aware of it and it does good up until the point where you have to like really you mentioned like self-love earlier. Like
Mhm.
you have to say it in a nice way, otherwise you're just going
Yeah.
to what's it called?
Like go downhill. Like
No, you're just going to like compare the two and just be like,
mm.
hold on, I can't
No,
think.
on the
You know what I
spot,
mean?
you're just like
Yeah.
so much is going on, but
No, it's
I get that it's
like it has to be positive and you have to look at it in a positive way while
okay, right.
understanding that it
Yeah.
is bad to eat too much or to eat certain things. Like you really
Mhm.
have to pay attention. You
Like
really
the
have to
education, like the
yeah.
education behind it, right? Like
Yeah.
the what's it called? The science behind it.
I feel that.
The literally I failed that class. Like
So bad.
it's really the what was that?
I
Like
guess
the
science would be the best
yeah, but like that Tumblr era of like thigh gaps and
word.
like,
Oh God, I
like
hated that.
all those
Yeah.
all those like comparing yourself, like you
Hmm.
said. Like
Well, I mean, you can look at someone and be like, I want to be like them,
mhm.
but you can't be
Be
them.
them,
You
yeah.
have to find out like what works for your body and what
Mhm.
you want in life.
Mhm.
Like I can say I want to be skinny and be all muscular or whatever, like
Mhm.
the other guy, but I can never be like the other guy. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like there's no way. Because my body is my body. That's their body.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, it's like a nice guideline.
Mhm.
It's not like law. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like
No, for
you
sure.
definitely need to take that into consideration.
Yeah. Like especially with people that are taller or shorter or
Mm-hmm.
have like in their genes too, like a lot of people in my family have like diabetes. My dad
Mm-hmm.
has like HIPAA, like like he has like low or high blood pressure and things.
Uh-huh.
Like he has, it is scary to think about that too. And um yeah, absolutely figuring out what kind of like that balance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like yes, there could be a motivator, but if you're doing things that are like unhealthy,
Yeah.
like not eating skipping meals or trying to that could lead to like severe health concerns and like eating disorders and things like that, and just that body image, like
Yeah.
the negative body image. And i I don't know if like what's it called, but I don't know what's it called in English, but like in Spanish, like everyone in my family would always say, what's it called? Like suck in your stomach. Asuma
Oh,
la pan. What's
yeah.
it called?
Similar fun.
Asuma la panza. Yeah, I literally have a video. Oh my god, it was my birthday out. What was it? Two years ago, I think.
Mhm.
My mom. I was blowing out my candles. I think my sister has the video. If I find it, I'll send it to you. But I'm like about to blow out my candles, and mom's like, "Asuma la panza." I'm like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
like sincerely, fuck off. Like I don't care. Like
Mhm.
it was it was just uncalled. It's like those little comments or
Yeah.
these little things. It's just uncalled for, and it's like not.
Not the best.
It's
It does
it's
not set you
not
up for success either.
exactly
It like really
exactly.
hinders like the way you look at yourself, the way you feel about
Yes.
yourself. Because I
Mhm.
mean, at any point in like if you're ever like wanting to like lose weight or to do something with your fitness or
Mhm.
your health, your
Mhm.
physical appearance, you have to like accept yourself for who you are in the moment. Because if you
Mhm.
don't, then you're just going to like gravitate towards like the negative aspects of things and
Mhm.
like how to go about it. Like when
Yeah.
I was little, I was like I would eat a lot,
Mhm.
I'd throw up, and then
Mhm.
eat a lot more because I
Yeah.
felt like if I didn't have food in me, then I wasn't gonna be okay. I wasn't gonna feel okay, and
Mhm.
it's like that's really scary for like
Yeah.
I was like 12,
Mhm.
a 12-year old.
12 years old. You were a
12. I was a
kid.
child. I was a
You were a
baby. A
child.
baby so stressed about like how I felt, how I
Yeah.
looked. Ugh. I
Mhm.
mean, even now, like that still is like
It
true in
doesn't really go
myself.
away. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's definitely not to that extent.
Mhm.
Or like sometimes I would even starve myself like later on into
Mhm.
like my teens.
Mhm.
That's not healthy.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, you can't eat because you ate like a little bit too much yesterday. You
Mm.
shouldn't eat. You shouldn't eat.
Mhm. And it's that little
It's
voice in your head.
horrible. It's
Yeah.
horrible.
Like you're like the biggest what's it called? Like your biggest hater, really. Like, you're
Yeah.
so, like, these little voices telling you, oh, that's too much, or, whatever.
But some of those little voices are people from my past that were telling
Mm,
me you're
mhm,
too fat. Like, I
mhm,
mean, one of my parents, I'm not gonna say which one,
mhm.
but
You can figure that out.
yeah, I'm sure the people that know.
50-50.
um, they definitely were like super hard on it, like super hard on me about it, to where
Mhm,
like I don't really have like much value as a
mm,
person if I'm
mhm,
overweight, which
mhm.
I'm like trying to. And for a couple of years, I was like, I'm gonna stay the weight that I am, and I'm gonna try to like live with it
Yeah.
and try to prove this person wrong, which
Mhm.
is not healthy
Yeah.
at all. Because what I should have been doing is working towards being like making those healthy changes and stuff, but
Mhm.
still no, still not
Mhm.
like I'm doing it for someone else at that point, and that's not good either.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like you have to really like look at yourself and know
Mhm.
what you want
Mhm.
and try to figure out the best way to do that. Like
Mhm.
I know I slip up here and there too,
Mhm.
and I definitely hear that person's voice like
Mm.
every time, and I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, but it's a learning curve, and
Yeah.
like much like anything else in life,
Right.
it's always gonna happen. But the way that you deal with it, it's like
Mhm.
it gets easier and it gets to be less impactful on
Right.
you when you get to that point,
Yeah.
which is kind of
Mhm.
hopeful, but I don't know.
I
I'm
love
kind of like in the
that.
middle of it, so I don't know.
Yeah. No, exactly. Everybody's on their journey, and I
Hmm.
appreciate you sharing that because it is something difficult. And like I said,
Yeah,
starting this conversation.
I
So thank
know.
you.
Like, I mean, some people are like, "Oh, you look fine, you're great,
Mhm.
you're where you're at, and that's okay." But like, I hear that, and if I don't believe it in the moment, then
Yeah.
it's like those are just empty words,
Mhm.
which also stems back to what I just talked about.
Yeah, yeah. It can hit you hard when, like, important people say that to
Hmm.
you, and it's like, um, again, it's funny, I went to literally yesterday, I went, um, to a store, and this guy was telling me, like, "Oh, I lost 50 pounds," and I'm like,
Hmm.
"Oh, good for you, that's really hard." And I was like, "Oh, should I have said that?" Like, I'm, like, trying to be
Yeah,
supportive, but not
because like, what if
like,
it's
that's
easy?
it, like,
Yeah.
there's a right and wrong way,
Well, yeah. I
to
mean,
say.
I was literally just thinking, well, in the
Mhm.
last year, I've only lost 35 pounds
And
since I
that's
started
great
working out.
too.
That is great, but I'm like, well, if I would have done this and that, like, I shouldn't be
Mm.
doing that.
Yeah,
Like
right,
that's for
right.
next time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But like, definitely, like, compared to a child being told those things, well, that wasn't my decision. Like how you said,
Mhm,
our
mhm.
parents made the decisions on what we bought, what we ate,
Mm,
whatever.
mhm.
As an adult,
Yeah,
like every,
literally.
sorry.
There we go.
As an adult, like every meal definitely is a choice. So there's some
Yeah.
accountability that has to be taken there too.
Yeah.
But I also never grew up with like the best like self discipline
Yeah.
about like for anything.
Right,
So it's
right.
kind of like if I don't want to do it, I'm not gonna do it. And
Mhm.
having to like rewire my brain to not only like like I'm gonna be gross here, but I used to like hate cleaning. Like
Oh,
like the early years
me.
of my adulthood, like when I started living alone, I was like, well, I mean, it's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
No, it's not fine.
Yeah,
And I had to
right.
learn how to like clean here,
Yes,
clean there,
yeah.
maintain this, maintain that. Like the worst of
Mhm.
my house gets is like disorganized
Mhm.
because I'm like in a hurry usually, like most days, like
Yeah,
getting
just
ready
put
for
stuff here
work
and
or
there.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then like I have to like look at myself and be like, hey, that's not okay. Like
Yeah.
make it easier for later for like if you have to pick up later or whatever, like
Right,
definitely make it easier. But
right.
again, a learning curve. It is a
No,
learning
yes,
curve.
that's me too. Like, another thing too, my family, they're hoarders. We are hoarders. We keep things. I think it's like a first gen thing too,
I think so,
or
yeah.
like a family, because I've seen like, again, TikToks, I've seen like other people say like, their family came from, other countries, and they're immigrants, and they just keep things, and like my mom's house, there's like no room on the walls because she has just so much stuff,
I
and
haven't been there in a long time. I remember.
it's okay. You can go later if you
Yeah.
want, but it's like that. Again, it's your environment and
Yeah.
what you grew up in, and
Hmm.
then that's me too. Like, if you ask Jonathan, I will not wash dishes. I will not.
Yeah.
It's just, I think, again, maybe, but it's an ADHD thing too. Like you're sitting on the couch and you're just like, okay, I have to do this, this, and this, and this, and you're in that, what's it called? I have it somewhere, but it's like that funk that you're just stuck in that, like scrolling on your phone. Oh, like doom scrolling, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I'll do it later, blah, blah. But yeah, it's a very, like, again, like you said, I'm an adult. I have to, no one's here. Like, I got to do it type thing. So
I didn't fart. It was the water bottle. I swear.
not gut issues. It's the water bottle.
The water bottle.
That's so funny.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. It's not.
What's this thing?
No, you're right.
What it male?
No, but yeah, it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, this is something I told Jonathan too. Like, once you're a teen, you're an adult. And it's like you can't, for most things, you can't blame your parents, you know? Like, oh, my parents did this, so I'm like this. It's like, okay, we gotta.
But you're not with your parents anymore.
Yes,
you know,
yeah.
Taking that accountability.
Yeah, right. Like that accountability with something as cleaning or like eating or like just these any decisions you make. Is definitely, you know, yeah, definitely just something you have to look at and reflect and have that accountability. And even if you're 19 or 29 or whatever, um really having that reflection and seeing like, okay, is this healthy for me? Is it not? Is this going to set me up to succeed, or is it going to hold me back? You know, and just growing. But going into our questions, what do you feel like are some practical steps to heal from that unhealthy relationship with that?
Like I mentioned earlier, you have to really look at yourself. Like you have to be like, okay, like I'm not even talking about like, oh, just think about it, whatever. No, I mean like literally look at yourself in the mirror and be like, what could I have done better? You know, like what can I do next time? You will fail.
Yeah,
you will fail.
It's not gonna be perfect.
You know, I still eat a lot sometimes, you know, some days.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a lot better than before.
Exactly. It's like these little steps, right?
Celebrating those little wins.
Yeah. What is it like? Your half glass full, not half empty. You know, for sure.
But yeah, definitely looking at yourself and then understanding that the way you were brought up is not your fault. You know, definitely not.
Facts.
You're set up to fail. You have to find a way to like work through that.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard, but it's fine. You'll be fine.
Literally, you'll survive.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
It's it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be like you have to choose your hard. It's like, do you want to have a hard life, or do you want to be this or whatever? It's like,
I know
just,
what kind of hard I want.
I mean, I guess.
Abs.
Oh, I guess.
I don't want fucking abs. Ew.
You know, that's really gross.
No
offense.
Shaming, but not for me. I want to be
it's like, yeah, it really is, you know, like you said, your goals, like your like whatever you want, not someone else, not your mom, your dad, whatever your significant other, it's what you want. What advice do you have for parents raising kids, like to have a healthier food mindset?
Well, let's start here. I don't have kids. I don't think I'll
You
ever
don't?
I'm just kidding. I don't think I'll ever have kids.
Yeah.
Because I'm too selfish.
No, but you were a kid. So.
Yeah, I was a kid.
Yeah.
And definitely be kind to your child while also guiding them towards the direction in where you want to see them.
Yeah.
So if you want to see your child being happy, healthy, you can't be like super positive all the time, because that is definitely toxic.
Yeah. You have to show them your mistakes too.
Yes.
Yeah,
you have to be open and honest with your child when the time comes, not like
right.
That's crazy. But like definitely like telling them these were the mistakes I made and I don't want you to make them. And if you do make them, you can always talk to me about it. Be open with your child.
Supportive, yeah.
Be like just emotionally available. If you're not emotionally available, you should
Yeah,
have kids.
for
And
sure.
if you do by accident, I mean, let's just be honest, it happens.
Yes.
But you definitely have
You
to
gotta
work
figure it
on
out.
that.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, again, I don't have kids either, but I was a kid. And like, even seeing now, I mean, I work with kids, and a lot of them are like, well, I don't like the food my mom makes because I don't like this or that. And I'm like, yeah, sometimes, I mean, I don't like, certain foods, but it's like, it's still that same mentality, like, well, you have to eat it because I'm not going to make more food. It's like you said, just going through or having that compassion and being like, okay, just nicer. Let's just be nicer and like open with them. And yeah, they're kids, but they're also learning too.
Yeah.
And like you said, like this environment you had when you were little will set you up being an adult.
Yeah.
And if they can't speak up to their parent about what they want to eat, how are they going to speak up to someone,
Yeah.
in their life? Yeah.
Like, how do you guide yourself as a person that was never guided, So
Yeah.
definitely be aware about what you do and say in front of your kids is super important. So if you're like judging people, your kid is most likely going to judge people as well and themselves. And you.
That's the next episode.
And you. And you.
That's episode 12 of
You're
judging.
Gonna look at you and be like, ew.
Yes, they're gonna judge you.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, for sure. It's like that. That's what kids do. They reflect or mirror.
Yeah,
like, oh, my mom's doing this, I'm doing this. So yeah, it's 100% the same too.
Right.
Yes, mirroring it. Well, I feel like we covered mostly everything then, and again, like you said, having that reflection, having that balance, understanding what works for you might not work for someone else, and that's okay. Understanding that, yeah, family members are not exactly, I mean, you don't even have to like listen to them, you can.
It's hard.
It is hard, yeah.
It's hard to not listen because they're like there.
Yes, that's your first support system.
Yeah.
But again, they're not always right, or nobody's perfect either, but just figuring that out for yourself.
Another thing, like going back to the weight loss thing.
Yeah.
Like I've attempted to lose weight like several times in my life, and it was always for the wrong reasons. For a guy, for like my family or whatever. It was never for me until this time, which is nice.
Yeah.
Very fun. Very like enjoyable,
Yeah.
But one thing that like was always true is when I did lose like some weight, the same people that would judge me, like you can see that they look at you different. And it's something that a lot of people don't talk about. Like they'll talk to you more, or they'll treat you nicer or whatever, because it's what they want. They don't want you to do it for yourself. They want to do it because they want you to do it, which is horrible. And then I mean, like being fat as an adult, like as an adult, like in dating is kind of not the best. I will say. Like I definitely got some like really bad comments about that stuff before, like here, and like I lived in Mexico for 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
But like in both areas, like I literally got told a couple times, like talk to me again when you lose weight, which is like horrible, especially in like those dark times that I was on.
Yeah.
So like definitely surround yourself with people that do love you and will prove you wrong when you try to be negative about yourself.
Yes, for sure. So. That's the people that you want in your life. And I like referenced TikTok 5 times already, but there was a TikTok I saw that's like a water bottle. If you buy it at the grocery store, it's like $1, $2, right? Yeah. But at the airport, it's like freaking $10, $15, whatever. It's like you have to surround yourself with the people that value you.
Yes.
And if you're in an environment that does it, you're right. Those people, and that's a self-reflection on them. Like when they tell you, oh, you're not this, not that, you could do better or whatever, it's a reflection on them instead of like a bully, like someone that is insecure about themselves.
Yeah, it's the projection.
And absolutely. And again, it's remembering, I mean, there's a point of like we've talked about, commenting on someone's body isn't exactly,
Yeah.
you know, like there's a difference of like complimenting versus like, oh, you need to do this or change this. So yes, understanding the difference, and like if you wouldn't want someone to say it to you, don't say it to someone else, right? And yeah, that is a good point, especially with um like like you said, in wherever you're at, people still do it.
Yeah.
Um
But
and it just
understanding.
no, you're fine.
Okay.
I was gonna say, like you said, it just comes back
Yeah.
to the self-love and being nice.
Yeah, but understanding, which you shouldn't have to learn when someone's projecting stuff onto you, but
Oh,
understanding and knowing when that's happening really does help
right.
processing what they just told you.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I've gotten to the point where I can like hear those things and I'll be like, if it's affecting me, if I feel guilty, because I know I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
But how can I fix that and how to look at that in a positive way?
Yeah.
Because yeah, maybe I did eat too much one day. And I'll be like, you know what? Next time I probably won't.
Right,
Unless I
right.
like really need it.
Right,
You know?
yeah.
Because they also don't know if like I'm eating a lot because I forgot to eat breakfast in the morning
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. Food for me has never been like my forte, obviously. But it's definitely important to know when it's like toxic, when it's positive,
Yeah.
when it's kind of like that weird in between, you know?
Right. Finding that balance of like, again, you know, it's your body. Like,
Yes.
this gets me full, this doesn't, whatever. And you don't have to explain yourself to anyone either. And it's like, yeah, finding that self-love. And yes, you gotta nourish your body, drink water, whatever. And it's okay.
Yeah. Also, knowing that you're not for everybody, like
yes,
your lifestyle, like who you are, what you believe in, everything, like does not always have to resonate with everybody.
right.
And I think that's also where like the projection stuff comes from them.
Yeah.
Where it's like they were always told that like having a bad relationship with food is like the worst thing, grossest thing, whatever that could ever happen in life.
Yeah.
But for you, it's kind of like I made a mistake, you know? Yeah. And I'm just trying to correct it.
Yeah, right. Like, you know, you said like we make mistakes. This might not work for no, stop.
But
this is
up here.
literally this is perfection. And yeah, like again, nobody is perfect either, you know. Like we all have our strengths and weaknesses or whatever. It's that thing too of like you said, comparison and how other people see themselves. Like when you love yourself, it's like when someone compliments you, they're like, oh, you think you're gorgeous, like that's you know, like they see it negatively, and it's like, okay, so you want me to love myself but not love myself, but be confident but not cocky, whatever. So yeah, it's like, you know, at this point, find what you want. Like you said, your balance, what works for you, what you think is enough for your meals or enough for you know, or more than what someone might look at. It's again, it's
and
not
you
about
will make
them.
mistakes.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'm like, oh, I need more carbs.
And
No,
that's okay. No, but that's okay though too.
No, like,
it's like
I've learned that I don't.
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
I've learned to try to find that balance
right.
where I feel okay and still try to manage my weight and try to lose it.
Yeah.
But definitely, like, you will make mistakes, even though you think you're doing like what's best for you.
Right.
Sometimes you're not.
Right. You have to fail in order to succeed.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So it's something that, again, with anything, you have to adjust and make things work and learn from, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I'll do it this way. And excuse me, just being kind to yourself and being like, okay, I'm not perfect. I made this mistake, but I'm going to do it differently next time, whatever that looks like. But yeah, I think again, this is an important conversation to have, and I appreciate you again. Yes, thank you. Literally, I'm like, I went like this. I'm like, no, on my couch, I get literally sweaty too.
I'm like a hot person.
I'm just
in every
hot.
sense of the word.
Hey.
But
I'm just hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so hot.
I'm so sorry. It's
not even
70
that.
degrees out.
I'm so nervous.
No, but you did amazing. Thanks again, Aldo. And we covered most of those topics. And so I will share some more resources that I will find, but I appreciate you all for watching. And thanks again to my amazing guests. And we'll see you next time, guys. Bye.
Yeah. That was bad.
I'm like, oh, bye. What do I say? Bye, bitch.
Bye.
I'm going to do just a test one.
Okay.
Because I want to make sure. This is like hard work, like audio, first world problems.
That's why I didn't want to do it.
This is actually really hard.
I was like, I could start a podcast if I wanted to. I was like, there's so much work to it.
It is. It really is. Like, I did a video and it was like editing and all this. I was like, because I have that camera too, and it only does 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
30 minutes? Okay, so I think this might be too far, or maybe this is closer. We'll test it.
Testing. Testing.